in the middle on the bottom, Janet.
Perfect.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So welcome everyone. My name is Kim Karinke and I'm from Moore Park College from the Financial Aid Office. And today we're going to talk a little bit about financial aid. What you see on your screen is the Moore Park College website. And I wanted to show you as I talk about certain subjects where you could find that information also on our website. So when you get to the Moore Park College website, up here at the top where it says admissions and aid is how you get to financial aid, and you kind of hover over it. And then over here to the right, it says financial aid. And when you click on that, it would take you to the financial aid homepage. So the first thing I like to talk about for financial aid is the California College Promise Grant. The California College Promise Grant is an enrollment fee waiver program. It's provided by the state of California to residents attending a California community college. So it's only available at the community college. And the California College Promise Grant, or the acronym is CCPG for short, waives all the per unit enrollment fees for an eligible student for the academic year. So when you get to college, it costs money to go to college. When you're in K-12, it might not be costing you money, and that's usually the first thing that people notice is you have to pay for college. This is a way for you to get that paid for or waived. And the cost of college is $46 per unit right now. And so if you enroll in like a full-time load, that's $400 or more. So the CCPG can be really helpful for students to pay for college. When you're on our homepage here, you kind of have to go down a while until you find the word CCPG. You could probably also do a search, but the first place I see it is right here. Um, so how do you apply for the California College Promise Grant? U.S. citizens and permanent legal residents should do a FAFSA rather than the separate application. And the FAFSA link you see is right above, right there. If you're an AB 540 student or an undocumented student, or you have another situation, maybe one parent is undocumented, you might want to do the California DREAM Act application instead, which they call CADA for short. And that link is right here. It says California DREAM Act application. Either one of those, when you submit them, is applying you for the CCPG. Or there's a separate application. If you choose not to do either one of those, then you could do a separate application by clicking on this link here. And then it takes you to tells you all about what the CCPG is. And again, it reminds you that you should do the FAFSA or the CADA, kind of tells you what the eligibility income levels are depending on which year you're doing. And somewhere there should be a link right here, I think, that actually takes you to what we call just an application for CCPG. Not necessarily what we want you to do because we want you to apply for other kinds of aid. And if you only do the application for CCPG instead of the FAFSA or the state application, the CADA, then you might be missing out on other types of aid that you're eligible for. So the best way to do it is to do the FAFSA or the CADA, and they automatically apply you for the CCPG. Um, it's strongly recommended that you complete the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application for the CCPG program to see if you're eligible for other assistance, like I said. Some students don't apply because of this. They think my parents make too much money, so I won't qualify for aid. So in reality, we want you to know that there's no income cutoff to qualify for federal student aid. There's many factors involved, like the size of your family, your year in school. All those things are taken into account when you do a FAFSA or a CADA. So don't tell yourself no. You do the application and find out for sure whether you would qualify for anything. Some students only qualify for the CCPG, but even that, like I said, it's helpful if you're getting $400 or $500 paid for you each semester. Um, the FAFSA also is a lot easier to do than it used to be. So, like maybe your older brother or sister did it, and they say that it was long and too many questions. They've really streamlined it now, so it's mobile friendly, and most students and parents can complete it in less than 30 minutes. And we want you always to know that we're available to help you if you need it. You could either come in person to our office for help, or you can go to our what we call live assistance, which is also here on the website. It's one of the first things you see is our live assistance via Zoom. Unfortunately, it's not 24 hours a day. So if you do click on the link and it's not during these posted days and hours, you'll be there alone without assistance. So just keep that in mind. You do need to follow the schedule that's on here or call the office to make specific arrangements if this is not convenient for you and you need a one-on-one appointment via Zoom, we could also do something like that, but you would need to make an appointment. And most of the staff, right here where it says staff jump link, they have, you pull this down and you see all the different staff. They're assigned to you by the last letter of your alphabet, of your last name, whatever it starts with. This is their caseload, and this is each person and the caseload. And if you need to make an appointment, they have a click on link right here where you could email them or you could directly make an appointment with them, or you're welcome to use the phone and call them. So this is all the people that work in the office and the different caseloads that they handle. So you just think of what your last name is, and then you find the person that you belong with. Um, let's see. If you don't qualify for, let me go back to the home page. Here we are. If you don't qualify for the California College Promise Grant, there is another option. It's the Moorpark College Promise. So I wanted to show you how to find that information here on the web page. It's right here where it says Moorpark College Promise will take you to it. So if your parents have a higher income level and you don't qualify for need-based aid, you could still possibly qualify for the Moorpark College Promise. You may have heard of the governor say 2 free years of college. That's the program that this is about. So it's another kind of promise, and there are rules involved, and the rules are all listed here. So you have to be a first year, first time student. So you have to be coming to us immediately after high school, or possibly maybe you took 1 year off the second year after high school because it's only available for 2 years. You have to have, like right now for 26, you have to have graduated high school in either 25 or 26 to qualify. Then you also have to do a FAFSA or a DREAM Act application. And the links again are here. And there's a deadline. So the deadline for first come, first serve was March 2nd. So there's a state application deadline for the California grant, and that is always March 2nd of each year. So we kind of lined up with that to encourage everyone have their FAFSA or their California DREAM Act done by the March 2nd deadline. This year, I can tell you that we held to that, but we're able to, how do I say it? We're able to grant more than if you miss this deadline. So sometimes we will extend the deadline. So if we have enough spots in our program and enough funding, we will award everyone that did it by the March 2nd deadline, and then we'll keep going until we run out of funding, if that makes sense. So that's what's happening this year. You have to have Moorpark College as the school on your FAFSA or CADA, and this gives you our school code to put. And you have to enroll full-time, and full-time is 12 units or more. And so the term that we're awarding right now has been the fall of 2026, which starts in a few weeks. And we were able to award these up through July 3rd. And then we had what they call drop for non-payment. So everyone who was registered by July 3rd and eligible for the promise was awarded a promise. And then our school does a massive drop On the 14th of July, they did it. So everyone who hadn't paid or made payment arrangements might have lost they didn't have their financial aid in place. They might have lost the classes that they enrolled in, and then they start re-enrolling after that point. So after the drop on July 14th, students who lost their classes might re-enroll, and then we start all over again. And like I said, we still had enough funding, so we're still awarding the Moore Park College Promise each day. You also have to be a California resident or an AB 540 student, an undocumented student, or a DACA student from within our locally defined service area. And our established local education agencies and feeder schools to Moore Park College in Ventura or portions of Los Angeles County. So we take everyone in our immediate service area and then we go a little ways towards Pierce College, if that makes sense. So we go down the 101 corridor, um, about even with like Woodland Hills and Mission Hills and all that, Reseda. We take schools from there in our Promise program. What we don't take are out of area. So Riverside or San Diego or Sacramento. If you went to high school there, you would not be eligible for our promise. You also cannot have previously earned a post-secondary degree or certificate, and you must enroll full-time at Moore Park, which is 12 units or more. We only award a maximum of 12 Moore Park College units per term and 24 per year because that's all the state funds us for. You're welcome to take more, but they won't be waived through this program. So if you take 15 units and you get the promise, it will cover 12 and you would have to pay for the other 3 units on your own. And to continue to be eligible, you have to complete all the units for which you were funded. And then there's just says that it's limited and dependent upon the funding from the state legislation and just all the little conditions. If you're a DSPS or an access student, a disabled student, they do have an accommodation exception of 9 units. So you could get a promise if you have a letter from that department saying that you have an accommodation for 9 units or 10 units. You could still qualify for the Moore Park College Promise. Let's see. So you can qualify for 2 years tuition free at Moore Park College, even if you're not eligible for federal financial aid. And if you need any help, we already went over like the live assistance hours. So let's go back to that. There's just tons and tons of information. So I really encourage you. There's really helpful videos that we've embedded here. So like this video tells you how you can navigate the portal that you're given when you sign up to be a student. This video tells you how to set up your account with the state of California for web grants for the California grant. So if you get a letter saying that you have a Cal Grant award, that you might need to set this up so that you can monitor it. Here's the information on the Moore Park College Promise. And then there's different things here are explained, like the CCPG or the Promise program. Scholarships are a separate office on our campus, right next door to us. So there's information and links to apply for scholarships. There's information on student loans. There's information for student veterans. Here's our staff. We have a Canvas shell. So we post important information for each semester on that Canvas shell. If you take online classes, you're using the Canvas system to access your classes. There's information on workshops that we give. So if we're having specific workshops, you can find out here and attend them in person if you want to. Uh, there's information on financial wellness. So if you've never borrowed loans before or kept a budget or you need to learn more about managing money, that's a really good place to go. And then there's just general information, FAQs, and over here on the top, there's more information on this side as well. So like this is a really good tab, the important dates, tells you about how we disperse aid, and we have a whole video here on how if you are going to receive aid from us, how you need to set up this account so that you can receive your disbursements. And so there's usually a PDF with everything to explain it as well as a video. If you're a student who has been here for a while and you might need to do like a satisfactory academic progress appeal, there's information on that, and there's a video here to watch that tells you how to do it as well as a PDF explaining it. And this is our SAP policy. I think that's pretty much it. Our forms page is here. So if we ask you in your portal to fill out a specific form, usually there's a clickable link when we're asking you, but there's also a forms page here. And there's 3 colleges in our district. So we're the Moore Park College, the first one. So you just click on whatever is relevant or applicable to you, and you can find the form from it. And they're all in alphabetical order. And here's that CCPG that we started with. Here's the paper application if you needed it. Most of our forms, when you fill them out and click on them, are web forms. So they go, once you're done with them, they go straight to an email inbox for our department. And then someone will process it and get back to you if they need anything further. Go back here. Go back to the home page. These are our hours here, and like how to contact us. We have a text line, so sometimes we text students, and you can text back and forth with us, or you can call us, or you can come into the office. These are the days and the hours that we're open. There's a map of the campus so you can see where we're located, and the student business offices. Financial aid awards the money. The student business office on campus is the one that bills you. So they collect the money from you. So we give you the awards, and they're the ones that collect it. So if you need to contact them, you could click on that link and get their information. And I think that's pretty much what I had to cover. Sorry, Janet, it's only 20 minutes, but let me stop sharing and ask if anyone has any questions that I could answer.
I have one. I heard about a new AB something that's a different kind of grant that some students are getting eligible for.
Hmm,
Is that,
AB
I
something.
I think it was AB.
The Moore Park College Promise is called AB 19.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So that's the name
That's
of it.
AB.
So
Okay. Maybe that's it.
that's
Okay.
probably a Moore Park College Promise student. So the way that we started awarding the Moore Park College Promise is different than we used to do it, and it's different than the other 2 colleges in our district do it. They do it as an exemption so that it works like a fee waiver, kind of like the CCPG. At Moore Park, we're doing it as a grant. So it'll probably say AB 19M or AB 19M2, and the M2 means you're a second year. Um, so we're awarding it as a grant. So if you receive it, it's on there and it's preventing you from being dropped, and you don't have to pay the fees that are due, but we won't disperse it until after our census date because we need to make sure that you continue to be enrolled full time for that program.
Ah, okay.
So we wait until all your classes have started. So unfortunately, there's tons of start dates for the classes here.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Right.
you can start in August, you can start in September, you can start any week in October, I think all the way up to November. So until you reach the 12 units, we do not issue the grant. So we wait for all the classes to start. We confirm that you're in the 12 units at Moore Park and that they've all started, and then we issue it as a grant. And if you still owe the tuition and fees at that point, it will pay that off. If you already paid those ahead of time on your own, then it will disperse to you if you've set up your disbursement method through Bank Mobile, our dispersing agent. it would come to you as either a direct deposit. It depends on how you select. You have
Oh,
options when you
okay.
set up the disbursement method. So the student can either receive it as like a direct deposit into their own existing checking or savings account, which is what most students do, or they can receive it on a debit card that Bank Mobile will issue to you that you can use here on campus, like at the bookstore or at the ATM. Um,
Mhm.
I think the thing that has probably happened where you're finding out about it, Janet, is that we may not be in sync with the student business office. So if the Department of Rehabilitation already paid the fee waivers and now they're getting a check, there may need to be some conversation and some reversal of that happens on the back end.
Yeah, we had that happen
Yeah.
last semester.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So Lindy and I have talked about that at the business office, and we're going to start giving her a list when our first census date comes up in September. So students who are in 12 units by that September census date, when we start issuing those, we will give her a list so that she can match that up with the payments from the Department of Rehabilitation, and hopefully then it doesn't cause a conflict and things that have to get fixed.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, Kimberly, I just wanted to ask for the Mopar Promise Grant, is it the same as the CCPG grant? Different?
No. It's different. The CCPG there's about 11 different flavors of that. And that one comes from the state and it just waives the tuition, the $46 per unit. And that's because you're need based. So you have need. So your cost of attendance minus your contribution from the FAFSA or the CADA left some remaining need of at least $1,104 or more. So you qualified for it. The Moore Park Promise means you didn't have any need. So the contribution or the student aid index from the FAFSA, they call it an SAI, used to be called an EFC, but now it's an SAI, um, is greater than the cost of attendance. So the cost of attendance for a student might be, I don't know, if they're at home with their parents, it's probably like about 25,000 now, estimated for a year. And the contribution from the FAFSA or the CADA is greater than that. Maybe it comes in as 100,000. So there's no need. But you qualify for the Moore Park College Promise because you graduated from a local high school in our service area and you met all those other eligibility conditions. So we're giving you the Moore Park College Promise to pay for the fees. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Hi, Kimberly. My name is Ranju. I'm one of the counselors here at the Thousand Oaks DOR office. Thank you
Hi.
so much for the clarification on the AB 19. So we can let our consumers know if they do qualify for the AB 19 that they will not be dropped from their courses and that it will be credited to their account. Um, Sometime after they start their courses and there's verification that they're continuing full-time courses at Moore Park. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. And
It's
so
called
again, if
AB 19 because that is actually the legislation. It was Assembly
oh,
Bill 19 that created this funding.
perfect. And then if they did pay because they didn't know this information, they will either receive it back into their account or however they signed up to receive payment. And that will be distributed again, same time after they're verified to be full-time students. I think the scare that I had with two consumers was that they were going to be dropped. They saw that they were eligible and so this was really helpful information. Thank you for that.
Sure. Yeah, any financial aid award blocks the drop process. So whether it's a CCPG or an AB 19, as long as they're getting an award letter or they can see their awards through their portal, as long as they have some kind of financial aid showing for that semester, it will not drop them. All financial aid students are protected from the drop, but they have to have something showing there.
I have a question. When can they set up their disbursement method? We sometimes have students who aren't sure if they set it up, and we're trying to direct them how to do that correctly.
They get notices early on, and a lot of times they miss them in their
Uh-huh.
email because
Mhm.
they're not regularly monitoring their
Right.
school email. So what they should do is go into their school email and do a search for Bank Mobile. It's all one word, Bank Mobile.
Okay.
And that will bring up the email that they got. And once they got that email, that's their indication that they should sign up for it.
Great.
If they have problems, there is a video on that website that shows them step by step, as well as a PDF document that shows them step by step how to sign up. Or they could always go to live assistance or come in our office and we would help them.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just one last question, Kimberly. So when students finish with their all the enough units for them to be able to transfer, does FAFSA helping them to pay for some of the transfer fee or application fee if they apply for school?
No, not usually. Sometimes what they'll apply for is a fee waiver when they go to apply for transfer schools. So if they fill out the right forms with that school, and then they fill out a release, which is located on our forms page, giving us permission to fill out the information for the other school, and they were a financial aid student, we can say that it's kind of like it used to be called a hardship letter. We can tell the other school that they should qualify to have the application fee waived. But that is something that they need to inquire about and really follow up on because there's steps to it. And we're happy to do that and fill it out for them, but they have to initiate that and ask us for it. There's nothing automated and there's nothing specifically through any of the kinds of aid that cover that. There's also programs like EOPS who do hardship letters. Or if they go to like the Career Transfer Center, they could probably also ask for a hardship letter or a college fee waiver letter. I think there's also something through our foundation where they've run campaigns to help students that need that waived.
How many schools could they ask for a hardship letter for?
I
Is there
don't
a
think
limit?
there's a limit that I know of.
Oh, wow.
As long as they
Okay.
qualify, we would fill it out for them.
Okay. Great.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Great question. It's one of those kind of obscure things that a lot of students don't know how
Yeah,
to do,
definitely.
but it's definitely available.
Does anybody else have any other questions before we end today? Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us today. This is recorded so we can share this with our students. Hopefully that'll help them get on the right path as they're choosing to come to Moore Park.
Thank
So I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity, Janet.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Appreciate
Okay.
it.